You've hit record, have you? Are we all recording?
I've hit record.
Wait, we're recording.
You sound like
We're on.
Is it that angry kid? Those videos. You sound like
Oh
him.
my god, yeah.
I thought you were going to say the grumpy kid from Shrek 3.
Do the R.
CPOD. Press enter to begin.
Good evening, welcome back folks to CPOD, the Curse of the Enthusiast podcast. I'm stumbling over myself here. I'm a little bit nervous because today we have a special guest. But before I introduce them, I'd just also like to, as usual, introduce the L-Raiser of the podcast here. He's back with us.
Hello.
My other half is...
Is that hell enough? Is that like evil enough? Hello.
Oh, that's great. Our special guest is my wonderful fiancée and wife-to-be, Nadia.
Hi.
Are you excited to be here?
I am really nervous.
Why?
I don't know, it's just, people listen to this.
That makes us feel quite popular. People listen to this? Do we? Do we have viewers?
No, but I told my co-workers this morning, I said, I'm guest starring on a podcast. And they were both like, send me the link. I'm like, cool.
All right, cool. We're broadening our horizon.
Send them the link.
Is that your impression? Send them the link. Elliot, you've got to speak like that for the rest of this podcast now.
I'd get halfway through just to lose my voice completely. It's the equivalent of the do the raw, but send them the link.
Amazing. Right, we're going to dive in because there's lots and lots to talk about this week. So first of all, Elliot, what have you been playing this week?
So I completed Golden Compass on the DS, which is funnily enough Nadia's old DS, so thank you again. So I got that DS, reshelled it. Completed Golden Compass, which if you've never played the Golden Compass DS game, it is terrible. You will have a bad time, but for some reason I wanted to complete it. I've also been playing Guitar Hero 5 on Wii, and I'm about halfway through Red Steel, which is like an FPS. I think it's like a Japanese sort of FPS, but you also have like bosses where you'll have like a sword, so you'll have I think it's like a Kanto and then a samurai sword, and you have to sort of block and dodge. It's again brilliant. I'm just finding myself in all of these kind of like weird areas of gaming.
Right.
So like offline, not popular, kind of generally quite poorly reviewed, but I'm having a good time with them. I'm really enjoying them.
I do remember.
But how about you? And should it?
Oh, go on. Sorry.
Ooh. I was going to just move on to say how about you and Nadia, but sorry, you said something about Red Steel.
Well, I do remember you saying that you played Golden Compass as a kid. That was one of your go-to games when you were younger, right?
Yeah, so I had Golden Compass on DS, on the DS Lite, and I don't know how I came to have that in my possession. It's not really a game I would have bought back then. And I remember getting halfway through it and nearly giving up because the difficulty curve is just crazy and it's not very polished.
Yeah.
And I seem to remember just rubbing my face up against it and completing it and really enjoying it. Again, comes back to that, I was playing competitive games and this was a game that I played by myself and actually found enjoyment in that back then. So I think it was kind of like I fell in love with it because it got me away from sort of the generic competitive stuff to playing something, Nintendo unique, which it definitely is unique and it definitely is broken. I had about 4 game-breaking bugs, getting stuck in the floor, freezing, all sorts, you name it. Good fun.
I do like the fact that, if there's something like that in the game that's broken nowadays as well, there's no update for that. That's how the game is, and you go, oh, all right, I guess we're going to start this again. So I miss things like that sometimes.
Exactly. I had that on the Wii earlier. I was an hour into a mission on Red Steel, and it just not only did the Wii freeze, it just started playing like C# full through the subwoofer and soundbar. Just, I wouldn't do a thing. I was trying everything like, how do I switch this off? I lost an hour's gameplay. So one mission took me an hour and 45 minutes to get through. So yeah, and as you say, they would have patched that out, but not the old ones.
Yeah. Fantastic. We've actually had some feedback from Nathan, who's been commenting on borderline every episode that we've done. So thanks, Nathan. We love the interaction, and I will respond to your comments, everyone that you put down. And he's rejoiced that I'm playing Dino Crisis because it was the next thing on my list. So I'm currently playing Dino Crisis. Horribly, a little earlier this year, I had to repair my PS2 because the ribbon cable had come away and started sticking out from the shell and started scratching my discs. And I didn't realise it scratched the hell out of my copy of Dino Crisis 1 for the PlayStation 1. So I can't play it on a PS1 or a PS2. It's too damaged. But oddly, it works perfectly on my PS3. So currently I'm playing Dino Crisis 1 on my PS3. So far, great fun. The only two problems that I've got with it is there's either easy mode or hard mode. Now, hard mode is the version where you've got virtually no ammo, just a couple of tranquilizer darts, and that's it. And it is punishingly difficult. In easy mode, I find it's too easy. 3 shots with a standard gun, and the Velociraptor is down, dead for good. But I'm armed not only with a standard gun and standard ammunition, but I've also got tranquilizer darts if I need them, but I don't need them because I'm also armed with a shotgun and a grenade launcher, and I'm going around like Rambo going, this feels a bit easy now. But for listeners who don't know, I have hearing damage. It's kind of bad because voices sound very muffled to me much of the time, so I really have to concentrate to listen. And the voices in Dino Crisis are stupidly low, and all of the music and all of the effects are very loud over the dialogue, so I can't hear what's going on in the slightest. So I kind of have to wait for the cutscene to end and then go around and go like, oh, I guess this is what I'm doing now, according to whatever that person said 5 minutes ago. So I also visited Retro Vault in Warsaw a little earlier this week. I decided to book a day off and then thought, actually, you know what? I'm going to spend my afternoon going into a game store I've never been to before. So I went there. I picked up the very first Resident Evil for the PlayStation 1. Not even the director's cut, like the first one. And I've been playing that on my PlayStation 1 as well. It's surprisingly good fun, and it looks really good for a game that's now 30 years old. Obviously, it's blocky and clunky as hell, but I am enjoying it. So yeah, I've not got very far into it, and the dialogue is dire. It's even worse than Tenchu. Barry, where's Barry?
My belly.
Yeah, it's stuff like it. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad, but that's the fun of it. It does feel like a very cheesy game. So that's what I'm currently playing at the moment. Babe, have you been playing anything?
Well, I don't play a lot. I am much of kind of like a vibe gamer, so I just need to be in the right vibe to game. But I have been enjoying Sims 4 the most recently.
Yeah.
I've been trying to stick with one family instead of expanding. Just creating new Sims, because that's just not fun anymore for me. It's building houses that's fun now.
Right.
And
Okay.
I go around at YouTube and find tutorials how to build houses.
That's fair.
But then they turn out to be unlivable.
Well, in what way?
I love...
I think it's just because they are using the houses, most of them, they are beautiful, and I'm so proud of myself when I finish, but they use cheats, and then it's sort of like a landing, but it's a landing that's kind of in the air, and they just can't get up it. So I moved my sim into a house, and she couldn't go to bed.
See, what I love though is your angle on like the vibe gaming. I'm sure that's what you said, just to clarify. But I love that idea because, as I say, we're talking about going through sort of standard lists, and sometimes you almost have to like force yourself to finish a game, and that can also not be fun sometimes. That can almost ruin the joy of it. So I love that you're coming in with that angle of, actually, I play what I feel like playing at the time. I think that's a really like healthy way to play games.
I agree, but the only issue that I take with that is that Nadia has a tendency to get to play games that you can't complete. So it is one of those where you can just sit down and it's like, you know what I feel like playing? I'm going to play that. But I play a lot of story-based games, and if I did that and just sat down and played whatever I felt like, I would get nothing completed, which is currently my status of like for most of my library. At some point, I put it down because I didn't feel like playing it at the time, and I didn't pick it up again for years.
Well, I do still have Uncharted 4 to complete for the 4th time. I'm sort of in the...
4th?
Yeah, 4th. I really like Uncharted
4th time?
games.
Oh my god, Nadia.
Well, it's just Uncharted 4 that this is the 4th run, but I haven't picked it up in weeks because any free time I have, I spend with the child. so he's not a huge fan of it. However, maybe I can convince him to just kind of forget about what I'm doing because there's a big pirate ship on the screen.
Maybe. Also, I'd like for our viewers to be aware that we do love our son dearly. We're not in the habit of calling him the child, the boy. Oh God, it's him again. Our son is fantastic, so we don't want to set the impression that he's a burden upon us because he's not.
No, I just like called him that because it reminds me of Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
Well, what's weird is what's weird is you use the same sort of names for me. You know, the boy, the bird, and you know.
Yeah, the old ball and chain.
No, that's mine.
Yeah, well, what can I say?
Oh, all right.
Oh, sorry. It's fight and talk. But yeah, no.
Go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, go on.
Oh.
No one's going.
No one's going. Nadia, throw yourself in there, quick. Today's topic, we're going to talk a little bit about something that Nadia studied as part of her degree. So do you want to tell us a little bit about, give us that backstory?
Well, not so much as part of my degree, but I studied business in university, and as my dissertation, I have chosen the marketing and adverts for video game industry. Mm-hmm. And it kind of went from sort of the beginning of the home gaming systems up until the current year. It was 2021, but it was current at the time.
Yeah, it was still sort of recent in the grand scheme.
So I conducted a field study. It was like a field study. It was an online questionnaire, and I was playing different game and console adverts to the people that were taking part in the questionnaire, and then asking them questions based on that to see whether they would buy a console or a game based just on the advert that they've seen, to see what was kind of most what's the word I'm looking for?
Appealing?
Yes,
yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm not very good at words.
Nadia's foreign if you haven't guessed.
How rude.
So what kind of adverts did you show them?
I started with adverts for consoles. Starting with Atari.
Right.
Oh God, I can't even remember which one. The first one, right?
The which one? Sorry. No.
I said a strong start.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said Atari. Strong start.
The Famicom, family computer.
Famicom.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much.
Oh, Famicom, Nintendo. Sorry,
it's off. We put 50p in him. Great.
I believe that's what it's been unbelievably 5 years since I wrote that. But I was showing them adverts that were just sort of regular adverts that you would see on TV. But then there were also adverts that were so bizarre that I could not understand why someone chose to do this.
We will get into that later, I promise, because there are some great ones and then there are some very, very bizarre ones. And anyone that knows PlayStation's history with advertisements will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. So, Elliot, when we discussed this a little while ago, because obviously, as you've said, and then as everyone knows by now, you're a big Nintendo fanboy, but you weren't wholly aware of like the war that was going on between Nintendo and Sega, sort of like in the late 80s to early 90s.
No, I wasn't. I had no idea until you told me about it. I had no idea at all. And that's also, by the way, what surprised me even more, that the Mega Drive games are available on Switch Online, given that history.
Yeah, it's sort of, they've accepted their fate, haven't they? That Nintendo was always going to be on top.
Yeah.
So initially what happened was that there was a huge marketing war between Nintendo and Sega. Nintendo had been around for a little bit longer. Sega had kind of entered the games console market, as it were, with the SG-1000, but didn't really hit the ground until it came out with the Master System, which wasn't very big. But then the Sega Mega Drive by 1989 promised arcade-style games in your home, and Sega were dominating the arcades, but Nintendo had the home scenario covered, essentially. So Sega's big thing in sort of like 1990, 1991, when they were trying to be the cool kids, was the infamous slogan, Sega does what Nintendo don't, which is phenomenal. But it also just goes to show how aggressive the marketing was back in the 90s. It really was a competition, not like nowadays where one will advertise one thing, the other will advertise the other, and they'll say, oh, we've got exclusives. It's a case of one was genuinely attacking the other. Yeah, I kind of wish it was around, but at the same time I don't, because that must have like caused some bullying in the school place and whatnot.
I think because they were mostly directed at children, because the companies wanted to get the attention of children, so children will say to their parents, "Oh, I want this gaming system. Can you buy it for me?" That competitiveness really speaks to young people. Like when I say young people, I mean like, I don't know, children from like 9 to late teens. But there was an advert for a Mega Drive where there was 2 kids coming into a shop and a clerk was trying to sell them a Nintendo, but they were so excited to see Sonic the Hedgehog. And they were like, no, this guy's fast. I want that one.
Yeah, blast processing was one of the key points about selling the Mega Drive over the Nintendo consoles, because it was just so much faster and it could do things that Mario couldn't do. There's even a point in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 where Sonic will move faster than the screen, so he will disappear momentarily, and you think, oh my god, he's too fast for the game. Wow, this is incredible. And yeah, that sort of aim... that kind of marketing was, as I say, it was a very aggressive strategy for Sega, but it worked for a little while. And then the newcomer came along, which I'm the fanboy of. I was initially a Sega kid until the big guns came out. And this is one of your favourite adverts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ella, have you seen the Crash Bandicoot versus Nintendo advert?
I don't think I have.
Oh, Dorian can do the best impression. It's like, it not only is it word for word, but the voice is just perfection.
It's that one where Crash Bandicoot rocks up in this trailer. It's a guy dressed up as Crash Bandicoot. It's not actually meant to be him because it's a live action thing. And he rocks up outside of Nintendo's building.
Oh, I have seen this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brilliant because he just pulls out this megaphone and he just goes, "What's up, plumber boy, mustache man? Your worst nightmare has arrived. Check it out." Just pulls out all these CRTs running like real-time 3D graphics. Oh, it's so.
I was just curious. I had a look.
Go on.
So the Mega Drive came out in 1988, but the SNES came out in the 1990, because in my eyes, the SNES was, and Dorian's gonna, Nadia, tell me if he changes colour. In my eyes, the SNES was a vastly superior console than the Mega Drive, given its audio, sprites, its actual compute power, So I didn't know when they released, so I didn't realise that actually the Mega Drive came out quite early.
I wholeheartedly agree. You are not wrong, because I've played SNES games as well as Mega Drive games, especially lately, and I look at SNES games, and especially the audio chip, and I go, this is genuinely better. The animations are smoother. The sounds are a bit closer to realistic sounds. The only thing I didn't like about the SNES over Mega Drive is the Mega Drive does tend to be much more graphic in its games. Like, I've got one staring at me right now on my shelf, RoboCop versus the Terminator, full of gore. Mortal Kombat 1, you've got the blood code, and it's quite quite a gratuitous amount of blood.
Have you played Star Fox on SNES? Have you seen that? Because that would have blown our mind back in the day.
What, in terms of its content, or its gore, or its 3D power?
So Star Fox is basically like 3D polygon.
Yeah.
If you have a look, which for that time, for that era, to have that actual 3D, and it plays great. Like I've completed that the other day and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I mean, it's hard because everything back then was, but see, the Mega Drive, I'm still really sort of early days into actually playing that. really. So just starting to go through the library based on some of your recommendations.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it's a console that I never interacted with as a kid at all.
I can tell by the way that you held that control at that time. I'm still upset by that.
That was hilarious. That was one of the best days of my life. It just Darren going
Still hearing about it.
red in the face, like smoke kind of out his ears.
Wait, you don't hold the controller in your knees and just play it like a keyboard. That's just odd.
Let me be clear, right? The way that I play Mega Drive, the way I use the Mega Drive controller is I just blindly press all the buttons, hoping they will do something. And when we're playing like Mortal Kombat, that usually works because for some reason every different like button combination is something.
Yeah.
But it's not helpful with racing games and stuff. Do we play any racing games on Mega Drive?
No, I don't think I've got any two-player racing games on Mega Drive.
Well,
Not yet,
I think it was something that I had to jump, and for me, the logical button to press was an A, but Dorian's like, no, you need to press B. Why B?
B is never jump. Jump is always C.
Well, that's even worse. That's literally the last
C?
button you would think. That's what I'm saying. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Nadia. That's Mega Drive right there, and its fans just want to be different. All right, press C to jump. Then all right, go on then. Oh god,
It was always the default in every game.
Nadia, so what did you find then? Sort of what were your findings of all of the questionnaires that you sent out?
That people were mostly guided by the price. So if they saw something that like an advert that they liked, they would look it up and want to buy it, and then they would make a decision based on the price of the system / a game.
That's so interesting. So I was watching a video earlier today. So there was recently a Prince of Persia game that came out, and it's like a Metroidvania, so like a 2D scrolling sort of fast jumping game. And Ubisoft expected it near enough on release to make 3 million sales, but Metroid Dread and Metroid games they hit 3 million after like 6 months. So their figures were completely off. And one of the two things they did wrong apparently is there was literally no marketing for this Prince of Persia game whatsoever, which is one of the reasons why the sales flopped. But also they priced it at £50, or it was $50 I think. Whereas all the other Metroidvanias were so much cheaper, and what they were saying is the outcome of this video is they only would have ever hit those figures had the price been lower and they actually properly marketed the game. So that's really interesting because I've just watched a video where exactly that was the outcome. So that's interesting.
It was an E3 showcase.
Well, I did want to touch upon this actually because Elliot, you were talking about how the SNES generally sounds much better than the Mega Drive in terms of its sound quality, right?
You're always going to talk about the Mega Drive got a CD.
No. I am sticking with Nintendo on this one because do you know who designed their sound chip?
No. I was trying to think of a funny name, and that was me just bowing out.
It was our friends at Sony.
Was that when Sony and Nintendo were going to collaborate originally?
Well, the NES was a collaboration because, as I say, Sony had their hands in every sort of music pocket in the 80s and 90s. They were well known for distributing, producing music hardware, CD players. Obviously, they had the Walkman. They had a variety of different tape decks, CD decks, AV systems and whatnot. And Sony designed just the sound chip for the Super Nintendo. And then they had a bit of a bigger idea because, yes, Sega had their add-ons because they were coming up with a Sega CD which could do full motion video and CD quality sound. And Nintendo wanted a little bit of a piece of that, so they wanted to create their own add-on as well, with collaboration with Sony to call that the Nintendo PlayStation. Unfortunately, for reasons I'm not sure why, Nintendo pulled out of that and paired with Philips instead. But the guy that was leading that project, a bloke called Ken Kutaragi, was obviously felt extremely betrayed by this because they were just about ready to go. He had his designs, he poured a lot of money and a lot of effort into this, so he went to the CEOs at Sony and said, look, I've got this idea, can I go ahead with it? And it was only because of the betrayal of Nintendo, they went, do it, we'll back this 100%. And therefore, the Sony PlayStation, rather than the Nintendo PlayStation, was born. Announced in 1993, or it might have been early 1994, at an E3 conference. So what happened from there?
I believe that it was Nintendo that came out. Was it Nintendo?
It was Sega with the Saturn.
Oh, okay. So Sega Saturn, they came out on stage and they were talking about the console, and then they ended on the price, which was...
I believe it was something like, I think $349, close to $400.
Which is a lot of money.
Especially back then. Even nowadays, that would be a lot.
Yes, that is just an extortionate amount of money for a gaming system. And then the Sony representatives came out on stage, looked at everyone and said, $299, and walked right off.
What a drop mic moment that was. And that just goes to prove your point that if you lower the prices of your games, more people are likely to buy, and that was the clincher. Because PlayStation were cheaper, everyone went, I'm going to get a PlayStation then.
And then they had even a bigger edge, which is why PlayStation 2 became the best-selling console of all time. Mm-hmm. Which was they advertised PlayStation 2 as a DVD player as well as a console. And they were actually priced cheaper than any standard DVD players on the market.
Right.
That's why people were buying PlayStation 2 so they can watch their DVDs at home for cheaper than they would buy just a regular DVD player.
Which is insane because realistically they had the option to up the price potential. They just chose not to, which makes some of their later iterations, their later consoles and their prices a little bit confusing because clearly taking that hit on the price worked. And, they made millions upon millions with the PS2. And then later on, I think the PS3 became one of the most expensive releases in terms of console at the time, which confused a lot of people because yes, it was a PS3, yes, it was a Blu-ray player, but I think its original retail price was something like $549.
And I think the reason for this is, so starting with the PlayStation 1, where they undercut there, I think they made their revenue back on the games. So they made the money back on the games. But from the PS3, I think that's when they were thinking more digital shop fronts. And I think it was their way of going, well, we can drop physical media, which is a cost saving there.
Yeah.
We can, build up all of the digital e-shops and etc. So maybe that was part of the reason. I mean, the PS3 when it came out was quite powerful, and you compare that to PC hardware at that time. It was pretty good.
Are all PlayStation 3s able to play PlayStation 1 games?
Every PlayStation 3 can play PlayStation 1, yes. There's only one PS3, one specific model of PS3 that's also backwards compatible with PS2.
So I think they were also including the fact that, if you have your old PS1 games but no console, you can play it on this one, and you can't play them anywhere else.
There's also, you've got to take into consideration the fact that Sony invented Blu-ray. So
True.
They were always going to make their money back from Blu-ray sales, be it film or games. So even if they were pushing the digital front, like Elliot says, with the games, they were still going to make their money back through Blu-rays alone. And
I think it was also because Blu-rays are much more difficult to ruin, as in scratch.
I've never scratched a Blu-ray.
Exactly.
They're impossible.
So they're like, this is our own thing. You can get it only with us, and they will last you forever.
Yeah.
So it's worth spending more money because you can keep it forever.
I think that's a good point. That would be such a strong marketing push. Quick quiz for you both though. What do you think the second best selling console of all time was?
Oh God.
I think it's the Switch, isn't it?
I was going to say the Switch as well.
It's not the Switch.
Oh.
Switch is third.
Okay. Is it a SNES?
It's not a SNES. You've owned one, Nadia.
You've owned
I've owned Game Boy. No, wait. Game Boy. What's it called? I forgot what it's called.
I don't know.
Um.
Is it the Wii by any chance?
It's not the Wii.
Oh, I'm running out of ideas
Pick a
here.
Wii. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's the DS. Of course, it's the DS.
Thank you.
It's the DS. Yeah, it's the DS. Yeah, so it was PlayStation 2, Nintendo DS, Nintendo Switch, Game Boy Color, and then PlayStation 4.
Which just
Thank you, Nod. You maybe have a look at that because I did not know the PlayStation 2 was the best selling of all time. I was like, is it? I had to do a little silent Google.
This was really weird because I had the name of the DS on at the tip of my tongue, and in my head I can see the pink case, and I just cannot get the name for it. But yeah, thank you for that.
I think the reason I've got the original DS.
Well, yeah.
So we're pressing on a little bit. So we're gonna move on to our next topic. So we're still in sort of like the marketing era, as it were, not era. We're talking about marketing still, but we're going to talk a little bit about some of the adverts that we remember around games. It could be either the game console, it could be the game itself, or maybe some controversial adverts that we've seen over the years, and they have been some controversial adverts. Anyone that remembers the white PSP?
Controversial, isn't it? Controversial.
Did I say controversial?
Yeah, I think you're thinking about work.
Maybe.
It's all right. It's 2016, so we're all good.
Well, yeah, this is it. We're still. I'm still.
Old?
What's a PS5? That's what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, look, you're a few years ahead of me. You know, we're not in the same bracket.
So, Elliot, do you have any particular adverts in mind that you remember?
Honestly, I quite legitimately have been trying to think. I don't think I can remember any, which is really bad because I'm sure there is some. But I'm going to ask that we skip over to you so I can definitely not quickly do a quick Google and see if I can remind myself. Because honestly, I can't think of any video game adverts off the top of my head, which is crazy.
I remember loads. More so sort of towards the PS3 and PS4 era, where the whole war between consoles had kind of finished. Most of that was saved for like E3 and things. But I do remember there was a fantastic trailer for Batman Arkham Origins where you see a little boy walking down an alley, and the entire trailer is just constantly on this little boy face, and it jumps for a few years. And it never moves out of frame. He's always staring directly at the console, but he always gets older and then older. So you see a little boy, and then you see his shaved head, and then you see him in some kind of like military camp, and then he's doing the karate thing, and then he's doing some kind of ninja thing. And then all of a sudden he's in the Batman mask. And I think the advert was Be the Batman, or something like that. And I thought, that's cool.
That's what you want.
Yeah. That was a really great
yeah, that's why you remember that. Well,
yeah,
that
every Batman nerd came out like going, I am Batman. Yeah.
Exactly. I do remember one. It was the Xbox commercial.
Oh, God, that was mine.
Yeah, how was it? Where she's giving birth?
Yep, that one. You go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that one. Oh,
No,
it's the worst.
Go on, Nadia. I stole it from you. You go on.
No, you can go ahead because I have a bag full of those adverts.
Yeah, because it's literally, isn't it? It gives birth, basically fires straight out the window, and then is flying through the air, just aging until eventually he just plummets into his grave, which is. It's one of those like shock adverts, isn't it?
It is. I remember the tagline as well. Because he grows old through the sky, hits his grave, and then it just comes up with the text on screen: "Life's too short. Play Xbox." Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, life is short. Play more.
I think sort of PS3 was probably the last time I can think of that the adverts were supposed to like shock you or engage you more, and since like PS4 time they are mostly like cinematic and bits of the game and gameplay, so people can see what these games can do and what these games actually look like. I have a couple of them. The Xbox one was one of them, and then I have the Dead Space 2.
Oh, that was a really cool marketing strategy. Your mom hates Dead Space 2.
They got a bunch of mothers in in a room and asked them to watch the gameplay for Dead Space 2 and recorded their reactions. I have not played Dead Space 2, but I know that it is quite gory.
Extremely gory, yeah.
So all you can see are those mothers covering their faces and plucking their ears and not just saying how much they hate that game and using that to appeal to the teenagers and young adults that wanted to rebel. Just said, your mother hates Dead Space 2. You should play it.
Yeah, just...
What I love about that is the shock factor is oh god, I'm gonna rebel. I'm gonna play a video game. So you can rebel if that's your rebelling. Crack on.
Yeah,
that's fine.
That was a really, really good one. So the weird ones that I was mentioning earlier, Elliot, do you know who David Lynch is, or was rather?
I thought you were going to mention the Paul Rudd one. No, I don't. No.
I think you've given ideas to Nadia, but
oh no,
no, you have not.
You're
all
all
good.
So David Lynch is a very surreal filmmaker and director. He came up with films like Eraserhead, Blue Velvet, Lost Highway. They're all very, very strange films where nothing is really explained to you. Events happen that seems to be completely disconnected. Like, there's a scene in Lost Highway where a stranger meets this man and says, we've met before at your house. In fact, I'm there right now. And he says, what do you mean you're there right now? He says, I'm at your house. Call me. So he calls him and says, told you I was here. And it's very, very odd stuff. I think that scene's fantastic. But he did direct a PlayStation 2 advert called The Third Place, and it's a black and white advert with a man in a suit walking through these crooked corridors, and he sees reflections of the back of himself, and he gives it a thumbs up, and then his head moves away from his body, and then there's a duck with a suit on stood next to a goat and something else, and he just says, welcome to the third place, and then someone in the background just screams PlayStation 2, and then that's the end of the advert, and you think, what did I just watch? What do I need to do now to bleach my eyes and just try and process what I've just seen? It had nothing to do with the console whatsoever. And that's the kind of bloke he was. He was an extremely imaginative and very surreal guy. But I do remember seeing that advert and then thinking to myself, I'm going to have nightmares for the rest of my life. Very weird. Very weird.
Any more for you, Will?
No, that's it. Sorry, I hope I've not stolen any of them.
There is one more that I remember, and it was a Mortal Kombat advert.
Oh.
I believe it started in the arcade where children were playing Mortal Kombat. Mm-hmm. And then all those children and adults and teenagers, they were all coming out onto the street. The advert was very dark and kind of orange, red and black toned. And I just remember them running. And that just quite nicely opened the Sega game to not just the kids, but mostly to the adults.
Yeah. So that was the advert that you're referencing is Mortal Monday. So Mortal Kombat had already hit the arcades, but the fact that they were porting it directly to every home console and every handheld console that you could think of was a big deal. So big, in fact, they turned it into an event, a single event called Mortal Monday. And yeah, there was all these crowds and these people running to the center of this huge cityscape, and you've got these guys screaming, Mortal Kombat! And all that. And it was that guy in the advert that they used for the films as well, and in the soundtrack. And Mortal Kombat, there was a craze in the 90s for Mortal Kombat. And it started with that advert, the Mortal Monday event. Yeah, that's a really cool advert. Again, it's one of those that's got absolutely nothing to do with the game. But it caught people's attention because everyone was like, what's this Mortal Kombat thing? Why is this guy just screaming into the air? What are all these gory, things I can see on the screen and stuff? The 90s was a weird time. I miss it.
Ah, no, Grandpa.
I first played that. I first played it on MS-DOS at a friend's house.
I can't imagine how that... It would run very well, but I can't imagine how it would look in comparison to, it would probably have looked better than the the SNES and the Mega Drive, because MS-DOS has always, because it depended on the hardware, right?
Yeah. But because the hardware would also determine, I think, between if you could select 8-bit or 16-bit as well.
That's kind of cool. There were 8-bit versions. They didn't run particularly well. They were quite laggy, but yeah. So that was our... we hope we've inspired some memories in our listeners there. Adverts that really sort of speak in volumes about the games themselves and the imagination that sort of came out in the 90s. It was a very different time, but it was fun. Very, very cool. Very colourful. We are cracking on. We're already 40 minutes in. So we're going to quickly reel off some news this week before we end our podcast. So I've got a couple of things I wanted to raise. First of all, there has been an extended gameplay reveal and a sort of behind the scenes for the new Fable game, which is a remake of the original Fable games of the PS3, of course. The PS3 is the Xbox 360, sorry. Never came to the PS3. See? Just one-track mind me. Sony. I don't mean to do it, I'm sorry.
I know, I live in the same house.
Sorry, party.
So, yeah.
Oh, I've got a big question to end this podcast on for you, Nadia. Don't worry, we'll get there.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's been... I'm intrigued. Lots of news around Fable. It looks good. It's been developed by a team here in the UK that I was not aware of. Looks like there's going to be a lot of similar features to the original games, in which that there's going to be loads of customization and loads of different ways in which you play the game. I'm really looking forward to it because I've never played a Fable game, but I remember watching a mate.
Oh my
play
god,
one.
you've never played it? I've completed 1, 2, and 3, so I'm mega hyped for the new Fable. And yeah, Playground Games made Forza. I think they... Oh, I can't remember the name of it now. I applied there a long time ago. There's actually a studio in Sheffield as well, and they collaborate with that studio. But yeah, it looks great, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah.
It's the morality of being good and bad, and the humour, and some of the actors, the voice actors they've got in that game. Oh my god, it looks phenomenal. I should be more excited for like Forza Horizon 6 in Japan because I think that looks insane. But the Fable game for me is just overshadows everything in that direct.
Going swiftly on, yeah. Now I am seriously looking forward to Fable. Absolutely. So you mentioned a little bit earlier about the new Prince of Persia game, which I had no idea about. I didn't even realise there was a new Prince of Persia game out. But what Ubisoft did announce is that they've dropped the pre-production for the Prince of Persia remake, Sands of Time remake. They've cancelled it.
Yep.
Just done.
They've cancelled 6 games in total.
6? Which were the other 5?
That's what I can't find. It's like one news site has said they've cancelled 6 games, and you try to actually break down through it and you can't find any of them, but they've actually closed a load of studios as well.
That sucks. Because you've actually just started playing Sands of Time on my PS2. You were quite enjoying it.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that because I know you have 2 Prince of Persia games and I just couldn't remember which one it was. But yeah, I think Sands of Time is the one.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it. I can't remember anything I did.
It was very early
Ubisoft.
into the game.
Yeah, Ubisoft, I mean, their shares have just plummeted to the lowest price in over 14 years, but I think what put the nail in the coffin for Ubisoft is, and I'm sure it was Ubisoft CEO who said gamers should be okay with not owning their games, and that's what I think started a lot of the backlash against Ubisoft.
I don't agree with that in the slightest. I feel like if you're going to pay for something, then you should own it. You shouldn't pay for the privilege of playing it temporarily. Absolutely not.
Maybe it's their executive, yeah.
Last piece for me is a little upsetting for me, actually, because I was looking forward to it, and I think I still will see it and gauge my own opinion. But the Silent Hill 2 film, Return to Silent Hill, came out this Friday at cinemas, and there are some people that are relatively happy with it in terms of just a generic horror film, but Silent Hill 2 fans specifically are not pleased. It has bombed in the box office. It's some of the lowest scores I've seen on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb for an opening film in a while. I think currently its rating is something like 4.8, 4.9, and a 7% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yikes.
Having said that, I'm the kind of bloke that enjoys Batman Forever, but I've got a reason to enjoy that. I loved it as a kid. So I'm still going to watch it and be sort of hopeful, maybe, that I might be able to take something away from that film that I enjoy, but Yeah.
I think it's just going to be, the experience of watching it and popcorn that you will enjoy.
Maybe, yeah. If I can try and disconnect it from the series and say, okay, I'm going to sit down and watch a creepy horror film. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe I won't. But we'll see. Elliot, do you have anything for us this week?
Well, my first question to you both, this isn't the final question, by the way, but have either of you watched the last Super Mario film?
No, we've not watched.
The beginning of it. Noah once requested to watch Super Mario film, and he lasted about 15 minutes. As the dog jumps out of the window.
Spoilers. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't think that's much of a spoiler. There's a dog jumping out the window. Also, it's been out for a couple of years now. After that, he just lost interest, and I never kind of thought about picking it back up by myself.
I'm not much of a film guy, which I think is blatantly obvious, because that's what Dorian's here for. Anything camera, film, I just bow out. But I thought it was really good. I actually really enjoyed that film, and today they've just done a direct on the Super Mario Galaxy film that's coming out, and that's got Yoshi in it, and that looks really good. So that's the only one part of my news, is that we've had a Super Mario Galaxy direct. And secondly, and this isn't Nintendo, shocked face, Microsoft are in the middle of testing a free ad-supported tier for Xbox Cloud Gaming. So basically, there'll be free play games, so like at a weekend there might be a game that you can play, any games that you've owned, and I think some retro stuff as well. But yeah, so basically you wouldn't have to have any subscription to Microsoft whatsoever. And apparently you'd get ads about 2 minutes sort of pre-roll, limited sessions to like an hour sort of a session, 5 sessions a month. But the fact that there's a free version of it, and obviously the whole Xbox Play Anywhere, means that even your TV can become an Xbox if you're internet support. So that was quite interesting. I still think, as much as I love the whole Game Pass model and how the handheld is fantastic for all that, there's nothing quite like, again, I've been going playing Nintendo Wii with the physical disc. It's just something about that for me. But very, very cool. More games to more people, the better, I think.
Yeah, it sounds like a bit like a double-edged sword. Free games, yeah, all day, every day. Ads in between, I'm not a big fan of adverts, but it sounds like in that case it's going to be worth it. If they give you the ability to say all right, sit down, just quickly watch this ad, and then that's an hour undisturbed. I think I'd take that. Yeah, that sounds all right to me.
That's it, isn't it? I mean, we've spoken about before how like you don't like adverts on your phone and that constant interaction with it. It's like at least that's being quite upfront. At least that's like watch this and you get that free time, but you're not spending any money. Yeah. So that's probably an area I'd go. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, that seems acceptable.
But that's it. Has Nadia got any news?
I do have some news. Sims 4 is coming out with a new expansion pack in February.
Oh God, how much is this one?
I don't know, probably the same as the other ones, £35. I believe it's called Royalty and Legacy. However, something that I have noticed recently is that the Sims 3 expansion packs have been taken apart into like 2 or 3 different expansion packs for Sims 4.
Right.
So there are the family-oriented Sims 3 expansion packs that have been made into 3 separate expansion packs in Sims 4. So there's like parenthood and growing together and wedding. However, that is my news. Royalty and Legacy PS4, not PS4.
Another Sony fanboy in here.
For Sims 4, I believe it's going out February 12th.
February 12th. Mark it in your calendar, folks.
Not long to go.
Yeah.
And just before Valentine's Day as well. That's a heads up.
Cheers, man. Thanks for dropping me in that.
No, it's okay. This is not one that I am longing to have.
Oh, thank God.
I think it almost reminds me sort of Bridgerton. It's like it's going down that kind of Bridgerton sort of vibe that you could do inside Sims. I wonder when, I know a new series of that's coming out, a season of that's coming out. I wonder if they've tried to tie something in or do something clever. But my big question is, Nadia, and I'm going to put you on the spot here, and this is like drum roll, and if you need a place to live after this, let us know. Sony or Nintendo?
Answer carefully.
And we never saw her again.
I have both, and I play both very rarely. I'm gonna say, my very cheap, barely working laptop with Sims 4 on it and a nice, beautiful smelling book.
Oh, I get it. PC Master Race over here. Fair enough.
Genuinely, it's probably one of the
PC and
cheapest laptops out there that can run Sims.
Yeah.
That was, I remember going to pick it up and I was like, this looks good, can it run Sims? And the guy was just so confused. He's like, I don't know.
I don't know. I love that. That's his reaction.
That's courage for
not even
it.
willing to
It
look the
is.
specs
Oh.
up. Just
Well, I do tend to save every few minutes if I'm doing something very important, just in case it crashes, because it does tend to crash sometimes.
That's a good habit to be in, to be fair.
I still need to sort that for you. I still need to look into that. That bothers me hearing that. As someone who works in IT, that's like hurts the soul. But what I will say on a final note is I've gone completely the other way. I think those things that are cheap, the hardware that's cheap and the games that's cheap are more accessible. I think that's actually the better gaming, arguably. So I love that.
Well,
The fact that you can play it on that laptop and enjoy it, that you're getting better value for money than anyone with anything fancy.
and the base game,
That's why I like. Sorry.
the base game for Sims 4 is free. I believe on
Oh, is it?
all platforms. You can get it on your PlayStation and on the PC. The base game is free. It's just when you want expansion packs, then you pay for expansion packs.
I mean, it's still better than Call of Duty, where I can play as Nicki Minaj. So I'll take it.
I want to play that now.
Great, I'll reinstall that.
Snoop Dogg and Nicki Minaj. We remember the days of playing Call of Duty where, when you died, there was sort of a real war quote on screen and you felt in it. And now you go online and it's like, why is Snoop Dogg there? Why is Nicki Minaj there? What loopy land have I entered?
Isn't Kim Kardashian coming to Fortnite?
Oh, for God's sake, no.
Oh, God. And this is why I'm playing Red Steel and the Nintendo Wii. This is why Dorian plays in Mega Drive and all PS1 games. This is what the new generation's doing to us. It's making us regress.
Right, we have run out of time, folks. We're well over, so thank you very much for joining us. Nadia, thank you for being here. It's been loads and loads of fun. We hope everyone's enjoyed this podcast.
Yeah, thank you, Nadia.
It has been a pleasure.
If you have enjoyed it, feel free to pop a comment down on whatever platform you choose. Once again, we are on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple. We'll catch you folks in the next episode next week. Ciao for now.
See you later.
Bye. I'm sorry, I got really messed up with ciao for now.